Sheberach im gam yachad. Try that with me. Hinei ma tov u'manayim. Sheberach im gam yachad. 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 Hinei ma tov u'manayim. Sheberach im gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome. This is the perfect trifecta if you work for a Jewish organization. Memorial Day weekend, Shavuot, and Shabbat all line up to give you 4 days of relaxation, which is kind of nice. If we were a traditional synagogue, we'd be in the middle of Shavuot, but as a Reformed congregation, we're towards the end of Shavuot, celebration of remembrance of the story of the giving of Torah on Mount Sinai. We studied all last night. We had classes where people appeared from around the country and rabbis from across the nation taught, sponsored by us, by Temple Israel of Boston and other synagogues. It was actually a good time. I don't know who was doing it at 3 in the morning studying Torah, but God bless them if they were. That's amazing. I got the 8 o'clock slot. I was happy with that on West Coast time. I'm not sure if you folks have had a chance to meet Jessica Steinman, but she has been here a couple of times, and I asked her if she would be so kind as to just introduce herself briefly to all of you so you know who the person is singing here before you this evening.
Hi all, so I'm Jessica Steinman. I'm a cantorial soloist. I'm a psychotherapist as my day job, but this is one of my favorite joys to be up here singing and singing with you. So feel free to la-la, yiddy-di-di-di along, and happy to be here.
And Jessica's sister is actually a colleague as well, who I've known for a very long time, Rabbi Eli Steinman. So it's a family that serves the Jewish community in many different ways. We continue with Hadlikat Hanerot, the lighting of the candles. I'd like to ask Lauren Bartlett and Diana Rogers to come forward. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
Be seated. When we light the candles, we cover our eyes as we're reciting the blessing. And you might think it's for enhanced spirituality, but that's actually not the technical reason. The way Judaism works is you say a blessing before you perform the act. But you can't light the candles after you said the blessing because Shabbat has begun. So what do? You light the candles before Shabbat. You cover your eyes, you say the blessing, and look, candles have been lit, and it's Shabbat. And that's the way you do it. But, of course, we use it as a time to recognize that it is what a blessing does. A blessing says that it's not just about lighting candles. It's about doing something that marks the beginning of Shabbat. And so it is with all the songs we sing, the prayers we recite. It's about what we bring to the prayer. It's about what we bring to the experience. With L'cha Dodi on page 20 in your books, we sing a poem, a piyut, written by Shlomo Alkabetz from our tradition of the 15th century, I believe. I didn't check the notes below. Sage, who put these words together. And As we get to the last verse, we rise and face the doors of the congregation of the Beit Midrash, and we bend to the right, left and to the right, and it's our way of, with our body, bringing the Shabbat, the peace of Shabbat, into this room, into our hearts, into our souls. Page 20. Please be seated. Shalom Aleichem is on page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch
we've brought back the Chatzi Kaddish, which is on page 26. Chatzi means half, and basically it's a way of saying it's a shortened version of the Kaddish. Technically, this may be more information than you need, it's called a doxology, which means it's a rather elaborate praise of God. And what I think resonates with so many of us is that rhythm of Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash, and we more closely associated with the Mourner's Kaddish, but it's actually sort of a punctuation mark in the service, a way of separating the main division. So we've finished Kabbalat Shabbat, now we move into the main body of the service with the Kaddish, and you'll see that doxology appears in the third paragraph. Yit Gadal, Yit Barach, Yish Tabach, Yit Pa'ar, V'yit Ramam, V'yit Naseh, V'yit Hadar. Each of those is V'yit, right? It's Aramaic, and it's like, and this, and that, and this, and that, and that. And you see the translation, which is pretty accurate on the third paragraph there. And that's what it is. The doxology is this sort of elaborate, lengthy, poetic, resonant, meditative praise. So we do the traditional melody. You're welcome to join us as is appropriate, or just listen as we sing it. Page 28, please rise. Please be seated. As we approach the Shema, the song that we're going to sing that leads into the Shema is called Blessed Love. And I just want to, because I'm going to refer to it later, I want to point out on page 32 the title of the prayer, Ahavat Olam, translated as everlasting love, eternal love. Olam means world. It could mean worldly love. It's in this prayer is incorporated this notion of the greatness, the all-encompassing nature of God's love, and it's the lead into the Shema. The declaration of God's unity is preceded by a declaration of God's relationship to the world. Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 40, Michamocha.
Who is like you?
Do it one more time. Lots of energy, it's good. Page 43. Hashkivenu is an evening song about the setting sun, the night coming. It doesn't always bring peace. Sometimes it brings fright, it brings fear, it brings terror, because we've all been afraid of the dark at some point in our lives. And so what Hashkivenu offers is a prayer that will lie down in the darkness and wake up when the sun rises to a world renewed. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai pares sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Shalom.
every once in a while someone calls me and says, Rabbi, would you say a Sheberach for me or for my loved one? I'll hang up and I'll let you say it. And what I always say to them is, I won't say it for you, but I'll say it with you. Because I think that's how prayer works. Prayer allows our hearts to touch. It allows us to extend a hand of compassion, a word of compassion, the sound of compassion to someone in need of strength or healing. So we don't, I find, Sheberach said alone is different from Sheberach said with the community because it allows the voices to blend and us each to draw strength from the other. On page 253, as we sing the words, please think of those you love and hear the others singing next to you, even if they're off key. Allow their voices to bring you comfort and strength. Between holidays and celebrations in our different schools, May is the longest month. And this past week, we had for our kindergartners a celebration of what we call Chagigat Torah, the celebration of Torah, where they get their little paper Torah scrolls that they carry with them throughout their years at school, hopefully for the rest of their lives even. Maybe you got one yourself when you were in religious school.
I still have mine.
You still have yours, yeah. It's not a real Torah, but it has all the words in it. And so they sang on page 46, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. And here's the interesting thing. Generally, it's a soft, reflective, kind of a chant that sets you up for the Amida. And my colleague kind of staged us for that. And then the kids started singing, and they started dancing around the sanctuary as they were singing the words to Adonai Sfatai. And it was great. It was beautiful. And what better way to introduce a prayer where we turn into ourselves and pray than to see 5-year-olds dancing and singing the words and saying that these prayers have life through us. Did they know what they were saying? Didn't matter. They were singing and they were dancing and they helped us get into the prayer. So as we begin the Amida, it starts on page 46 with those very words and continues through to 62 if you'd like. Let the words dance in your hearts as well. Let the melodies perhaps that they evoke inspire you, and allow yourselves to be relaxed, allow yourselves to be comforted by the words, allow yourselves to be inspired by the words as well. We rise, and when you've prayed for as long as you would like, you may be seated.
Oseh Shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
My wife and I traveled through Portugal last month. And whenever we do a lot of driving, we'll find an audio book or something to listen. And so I typed into my search books with Portugal as themes. And a book popped up that I hadn't ever really heard of, but when I read the reviews, I said, this would be a good one for us to listen to. It's called Theo of Golden. Maybe you've read it. Okay. Published in 2023. It was written by Alan Levy. So for those of you who haven't, first of all, I recommend it, but let me give you I'm not going to give away the important parts, but just a little bit of background. Theo, we never learn his last name, was an 80-year-old widower and a Portuguese native, hence the book popped up. But that's it. That's the only Portuguese connection. Living in the U.S., he finds himself, that's a problem with Google searches, I should say. He finds himself in the town of Golden, Georgia. It's a fictitious town for the novel. He stops by, in the telling, he stops by a local coffee shop, and he's captivated by 92 pencil portraits of townspeople. And he spends hours looking at each one, staring at them, appreciating their beauty, looking in the eyes of the subjects. And he learns that the portraits aren't selling, and he's astounded. How's it possible? He thinks that there's such depth and beauty, and that as he looks, he thinks he can actually see into the soul of the subjects. So he decides that he'll purchase them one by one and gift them to the subjects of each of the portraits. So he finds their identities over the course of the novel, and he finds their contact information. And one by one, he writes a sweet explanatory letter were described by his beautiful script. And he invites each person to meet him at a bench in the town square by a fountain, promises each of them that he'll give them their portrait. Now, almost every encounter that he has is touchingly beautiful and deeply moving, because Theo reveals this incredible kindness and a capacity to listen so deeply to people and to get them to open up to him by not asking probing questions, but asking gentle, searching, open questions. And as he's listening, and as the story is being told, what becomes clear is that Theo truly looks into the person's soul and sees their humanity. And he gently invites them to tell their stories, and they do. And they're taken in by this kind, compassionate old man. And he hears their sorrows and their joys and their challenges. And the portraits become windows into their souls that Theo then is able to open as he sits and he listens to them. The author, Alan Levy, his prose is beautifully simple and I think engagingly descriptive. It kept us busy on our drive. We love listening to it. In some ways, it reads more like a fairy tale or a fable than an actual account of real life, but that's okay. But we can't miss the point of the story. Theo honors each of these human beings as a human being. He meets them where they are. He affirms their life stories. He affirms their worth as human beings. And that depth of his capacity to see into a person's soul becomes abundantly clear when he takes the portrait of the town's homeless woman and searches for her and prepares to give the portrait to her. Because he allows her, he opens her up. She speaks to him, and she's obviously mentally ill. But yet he befriends her and he patiently listens to her as she describes her rather strange perspectives of reality. Now, he's not perfect. When an angry and violent partner of one of the subjects of the portraits encounters Theo, and he accuses Theo of preying on his girlfriend, and he dashes the portrait of the girlfriend to the ground and stomps on it and says, "You'll not get near my girlfriend." Theo responds with his own angry response, outburst. He struggles, and then after he does, he kind of struggles to bring himself back down to a place of equilibrium. Now, it's not a Jewish book. Theo of Golden, though, is very much about a very essential Jewish concept. The concept is B'Tselem Elohim, the image of God. It's the awareness, those two words convey the notion and the awareness, the deep awareness that we can have that every person has within them a certain divine image. And Theo's kindness and his patience and his willing to honor each story with such grace, well, there's only one way to describe it. For us as Jews, it's B'Tselem Elohim. The author uses the phrase imitatio Dei, which means Latin, it comes out of the Christian community, imitating God. And that's what Theo does. He is godlike in his capacity to extend infinite patience and grace to these people. It touched me, this book. It really did, deeply, because we are seeing the very opposite of the treating each other with B'Tselem Elohim today in our world. The very opposite of the kind of compassion and kindness that Theo shows. Dehumanizing other human beings in this world has become an epidemic. And all too often it is tragically condoned by our leaders, by our religious leaders, by our political leaders, by so many. So I want to be crystal clear about what I mean by dehumanization so you can get your head around it, because I think it's just so important for us to reflect on what's going on. We dehumanize immigrants when we incarcerate them cruelly and accept the separation of families. We dehumanize adherents of other religions when we declare that they all manifest a particular ideology. We dehumanize the homeless when we blame them for their poverty exclusively or fail to provide them with safe and secure shelters. We dehumanize people with whom we disagree when we presume that their beliefs are born of ignorance, naivete, or malicious intent, without taking the time to hear them out and understand their perspectives. We dehumanize political opponents. We see that going on all over the place. When we declare them traitors or enemies of the state. We dehumanize the poor when we fail to provide adequate health care or schooling. We dehumanize the incarcerated when we fail to provide them with basic human rights and allow violence and overcrowding and housing standards that we wouldn't allow in our zoos to exist in our prisons. And we even dehumanize our enemies when we accept or justify high casualties in war. And let's be clear, we're Jews. We know about being dehumanized because we have been and we are. Anti-Semitism is an ultimate dehumanization of the Jewish people. We thought it was behind us, but it's hitting us in the face. So of all people, we should not be among the dehumanizers. So I'm going to ask you this evening to reach inside of yourself to find your inner Theo. We have it, all of us. We just have to strengthen it. Think for a minute of the last time you slipped into that dark and deep hole of dehumanizing another. Now, don't think that I'm accusing you and not pointing the finger at myself as well. It's easy, we all do it. And if you think you don't, think again, please. Think about the language you use. Think about the actions you condone or even support. Think about your willful ignorance of the plight of others. What would it take if all of us were able to see others in the spirit of B'Tselem Elohim, in God's image? What would it take to recognize that others have human stories to tell, that others have loved ones, that others suffer sorrows and joys, that others have experiences just like us, and also that if we believe that we are capable of change, so too can others. You may have heard the name Vivian Silver in the context of the attack, the murderous attack on the Israelis from Gaza on October 7th. Vivian Silver was an Israeli peace activist, and she lived on the Gaza border. She moved there so she would have frequent contact with the Palestinians who live in Gaza. And she went back and forth, and she welcomed Palestinians into her home. She was a believer and a practitioner of B'Tselem Elohim. Even, she said publicly, with those who many see as Israel's most intractable enemies. Vivian Silver was killed by Hamas on October 7th. A cynic might say, see, that's what you get from those people. But her son, Yonatan Zeigen, believes and acts otherwise. After the death of his mother, he didn't seek revenge. He didn't seek war. Instead, he dedicated his life even more powerfully to her legacy. He's become a leader in the Parent Circle Families Forum in Israel, where Palestinian and Israeli victims of violence sit and share their stories and avoid judgment. And they share their stories and they embrace one another. And they share their stories and they affirm that hate can stop with them. There is pain, there is sorrow, and there are even moments of anger. But just as Theo restored his equilibrium after he exploded in anger, when people gather in this forum, they do the same. And what mostly comes through, astoundingly, is love and support. It is a manifestation of B'Tselem Elohim like I have never seen. Alan Levy concludes his book. He describes a plaque placed on the bench where Theo met those to whom he was gifting his portraits. The plaque declares that because of Theo, the bench is the place where heaven and earth met. In his epilogue, he asserts that all who choose to be can be capable of saintliness. And though he doesn't use these words, I'm not sure if he's Jewish or not, I couldn't figure it out. He does express that all of us are capable of ahavat olam, the prayer, the song, of great, beautiful love, eternal love. And then Alan Levy invites us to find a bench or someplace to sit down with another person and to share our story and to listen to theirs. He invites us to open our hearts to the divine that's within us and to share and listen to the divine that's within them, even when it might be hard to see or hard to give. But when we do, he says, when we reach across the divides, we create avenues for humane and caring communities in which bestowal, just like Theo bestowed the portraits on those recipients, the gifts of bestowal, the giving of our gifts to each other, can truly become our way of life. Amen. I recommend the book. Prayers this Memorial Day weekend, a reminder that there are stories of those who have given their lives to fight for this democracy, and that it is nothing we can take for granted, as I've said before from this podium. Memorial Day reminds us of that precious gift, and so as we say a prayer for our nation and for Israel, we're reminded of those who have lived and died and sacrificed so that we can be here to tell our stories. Page 258. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit, as we say. Amen.
שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו.
Avinu Shebashamayim, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield them beneath the wings of your love and spread over it the canopy of your peace and your light and your truth and to all who advise. Guide them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and the fullness of joy for all who dwell there, as we say. Amen. Okay, last week, we didn't really have a Shechianu moment. Nobody stood up when I asked you. So I'm going to try again this week. Something special going on in your life. A birthday. Oh, that's a warning. What's it saying? Oh, goodness. Okay. So that happens to all. Yeah. Wow, it was interesting timing, huh? Let's hope that whoever is not safe becomes safe. For those of you who are listening online, maybe you got the same warning. That was a child abduction warning, or something like that, we think. Or the abduction of someone. Let's hope that they're returned safely to their family. So to bring us back here, though, if there's anybody observing something special in their lives, and this is, of course, why we do it, to recognize those precious moments, would you please just let us know what it is? Birthdays? Anniversaries? Oh, there we go. Beautiful story. Graduations, yes.
Today we were at my granddaughter's high school graduation.
There we go. See, graduations or something? Absolutely. Anybody else have birthdays? Anything else to celebrate? Okay, well, just save it for a time. So if you have something coming along, you come to Shabbat services on that particular week. Oh, go ahead.
My great-grandson, who was 2 years old, was able to count to 10 all by himself.
Shirley, as a great-grandmother, the fact that your great-grandson looks at you and smiles and says, I love you is enough, right? Please rise as we join in the Kiddush together. It's on page 5.
Shabbat Kodsho be'ava uvratzon chinchilanu zikara lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tevi'ah lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'ta
Wine it ain't, yeah. The Aleinu is on page 282.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kachem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. And since it began the service by talking about the Kaddish, what makes the Mourner's Kaddish in particular appropriate for recitation when one is remembering one's loved ones are the last three lines. Oseh Shalom b'mramav hu Oseh Shalom. We know the melody we sang, it was Nurit Hirsch, right? It's the Hirsch melody, which is almost like an anthem in the Jewish community. Everybody knows that melody. Because what we're acknowledging is that when we think about our loved ones, what we hope is first and foremost, we say the words, may they rest in peace, but also that there will come a time when the heavenly peace that tradition has associated with what is in the world beyond becomes not just something in the world beyond, but also something that exists within our world, within our communities. And so it's a prayer that really looks towards a future that is a future of not the peace of death, but a future of the peace of comfort, the peace of community, the peace of a world where things have been worked out perfectly. So when we contemplate our own mortality, we're reminded that, well, we can work maybe to bring that time a little closer. And so we say these words in our Kaddish. If you are remembering someone, first of all, if you're in the first 30 days of mourning and you'd like to share their name, would you please rise and say so? Say their names, the first 30 days. If you're in the first year of mourning for a loved one, could you rise and sign it? And anybody else? And now if you're observing the yard site, the anniversary of the death of a loved one, would you please?
My dad, Jerry, and my sister-in-law, Rosanna.
My parents, Lynn and Michael Franklin.
And we stand together as a community and recite the words. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Bi'alma divrach e'utei v'yamlich machutei. B'chayichon uv'yamachon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. B'gala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei d'kudisha b'richu. Le'elam yinkol birachata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'miran v'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya. V'achim Aleinu v'al Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh Shalom b'ramav. Hu Oseh Shalom. Aleinu v'al Yisrael v'imru amen. Please be seated. Before we end, a couple of just brief announcements. First of all, if you're available between 4 and 6 on Sunday, we are making meals at our big kitchen, LA. If you didn't sign up, don't worry, come. You can fill out your release forms there. It's on Pico Boulevard, Pico Robertson area, kind of closer to La Cienega. 4 to 6, I know some of you are coming. Great, bring friends. There's plenty of room. And you get cookies at the end, good cookies. And then on Monday night, our own Dr. Tali Tadmore is going to teach us about the Great American Songbook and the Jewish contribution to it coming out of our reading of the Carole King biography. So we're going to do a little Carole King. She's going to talk to us a little bit about Carole King's style of music and maybe even sing a little bit or play a little bit or something like that. On Zoom, easy, wear your pajamas, do it in the living room. Just tune in. Again, you can find it online. If you can't, send me an email, easy to find, rstern@YZLA, and I'll send you the link. We have a good crowd coming, so it's a good opportunity to hear it. This is a woman who knows a great deal about music if you haven't noticed, and we'll have something pretty incredible to share. First of all, finally, thanks to the folks who helped make all this happen, our sound people, our production team, hiding back in the room over there, Natalia Bader, who was here to help us out always. Online is Noel, and of course our amazing musicians who make the music and help our cantors and soloists sing beautifully because of the accompaniment they offer. Finally, we end with another version of the Kaddish. We're really kind of carrying the Kaddish theme all the way through. So we did the Kaddish that's a break. We did the Kaddish that's for mourners. Now we're doing the Kaddish that has a special insertion for scholars, students, and teachers. You'll hear the words in English.
For our teachers and their students and the students of their students, we ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. And for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen, Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen, Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Enjoy your weekend.
Shabbat Shalom.